Good afternoon, everyone. I want to extend my sincerest appreciation to all of you for being here. You definitely got the memo on the bright colors, so thank you for representing Valerie's spirit in brightness and in joy. Celebrating is a really hard word right now, given this situation. So I'd like to replace it with honoring her. It's a commitment that I've decided to make for my life, to continue to honor her in what we do and how I live, in being able to celebrate her spirit, because it was so bright and so beautiful, and it touched so many, hence why you all are here, and I know there's more that would love to have been here if they could. So I appreciate you for remembering her as you continue your lives and honoring what she did for each and every one of you in those small and big ways. So with that, I'd like to turn it over to Craig Soretta. Craig, as many of you know, was our prior broker. He was very important to Valerie, and we're grateful for his influence in her life, his mentorship in her business and our business, and he will continue to conduct the ceremony from here. So, thank you.
Okay, so how's everybody doing today? I talk a little louder than her, don't I? How you doing today? Come on, give me a little more energy than that. This is a celebration of life. That's really what it is. And yes, we are here to honor Valerie. We're here to celebrate her life, because she did. She touched all of us in one way or another. So I echo what Mariah said. I thank all of you for coming today, and I thank you for knowing Valerie and for sharing part of your life with Valerie. So I want to speak to something that Mariah said. So thanks for wearing the bright colors. I was supposed to wear that. I had a nice bright pink shirt picked out, like that pink over there. Now, I live in a 450 square foot motorhome. My wife and I travel nonstop, right? So we got a motorhome and a Jeep behind it, and we travel all over the place. And you would think in 450 square feet, you could find everything. Well, you can't. In our house, it was like 3,000 square feet when we lived here. I knew where every tool was. I knew where every shirt was, and I could find anything immediately. But for some reason, this morning, I couldn't find my shirt, and I couldn't find my shoes. And I'm looking everywhere, tearing the place up. And finally, Carol, my lovely wife, says, we got to go. Okay, so I'm sorry I didn't do as bright a color as many of you, but I think it is such a great honor to wear the bright colors, because it speaks to the fact that we are celebrating. So you're looking at the pictures here of Valerie throughout her life, and these are inspiring. You know, it's a beautiful life. It was a short life, but it is one that we all can appreciate. And most of us, I mean, except for family, probably none of you knew her for more than the last 3.5 years, right? So let me tell you how this got started. Mariah has a booming business. She's a rock star in the industry here in Sarasota. I was her manager. And so we had a close relationship, and we met on a regular basis. Talk about her strategy, her marketing, whatever it was. She got pregnant. Congratulations, that was great. And she's worrying about, how do I run my business? How do I keep doing this? I said, Mariah, you have got to get a rock star assistant. And I went through the whole story with her, the criteria. What does an assistant do? You know, what should you expect? I want you to get somebody who's got all kind of experience. I want you to get somebody who can just grab your hand and take stuff over and run with it, so you can make your own personal life a little bit more balanced, and you can keep your business going. A few weeks later, she said, I want you to interview this young lady, Valerie Green. Okay, great. So she comes in, I interview with Valerie. Loved her spirit, loved her energy, loved her personality. I'm like, so Valerie, how long have you been doing real estate? Hey, I'm just getting started. This is exciting. I'm like, whoa. Okay? You got no experience in this at all. Okay? So I go back to Mariah. I say, Mariah, you remember that conversation that we had about the criteria that we're supposed to use in selecting that rock star assistant? And she says, but I love her energy and I love her attitude. Boom. That's it. That tells the entire story. So I've got a takeaway from that, right? I had to open up my mind and get out of that traditional manager role, get out of that traditional running a real estate company role. It all isn't always what you've done. It isn't always the experience or different components like that we use as a standard criteria. What rules above all else? Attitude, energy, a good soul, a good heart. Mariah had that judgment, and so we went with it. And she was so on target. So you think about what we're doing here today. This is a celebration, but it's an honoring. It's also grieving. We all grieve in different ways. Grieving is complex. It's different for every single person. And so I appreciate how many of you have gone and gotten counseling. You know, our company, I see Terrence back there, the managing broker for the Sarasota region. The company brought in grief counselors immediately and encouraged everybody to go. And a lot of people went and found benefit in it. And I think there's a lesson there. Sherman, are you here? Yeah. Where are you at? I don't see him. Oh, there he is. How could I miss him? I'll work my way through the crowd here. So I want to have Robert say something. Robert Sherman is my brother from another mother. Obviously, I got more handsome genes than he did. But so Robert was the first person that day to go talk to the grief counselor. And after he walked out of there, he called me to share it with me because I couldn't be there. I'm no longer a part of the team, plus I wasn't here. I'm retired, by the way. Well, we didn't say it earlier, maybe. So I travel and have fun. And so Robert called me and said, hey, man, I want to share this with you. And there was something that you shared with me from the grief counselor that I think is relevant.
So there were two things. One was, and I've done funerals for kids and children and young adults throughout my life. One of the things that was said that really struck me was, you do remember, you should remember, you better remember. Because she said, the only way that somebody lives and they live on is if we continue to talk about them. If we continue to tell stories about the way they impact our lives. That was the first thing she said. The second one was more subtle, and she goes, how did it make you a better person? I was like, man, I've never thought, when you're grieving and it sucks, you don't think about how did this make you better? I can tell you, I didn't know her long, but when we were together, not as thick as thieves as she and Kaylee and Mariah and the rest of that group, but you're right, there was a certain connectedness. She had a legacy. That's what she was saying to me. How did she leave her legacy with each one of you in this room? What did she give you, and how did she share it with you? That was the thing that I walked away and went, wow, I need to think about that for a long time.
So that's my ask to you today, is when we're talking today about Valerie, her family, her life, your experiences with her, don't just listen, think about it. Think about how she touched your life. Think about what you can walk away from this service today and benefit you. Because there is something. I already said something that benefited me. Indirectly, it was Mariah and her bringing Valerie into our lives that spoke to me about opening up my mind and not being a stodgy old manager, and instead going to the things that really matter. And for me, it was Valerie's attitude, Valerie's energy, because it was a beautiful energy and a beautiful, just whole attitude about life. She always wanted to learn. She always wanted to do better. I am not kidding. I love, Jay Shetty and James Clear and Sean Anker and all those guys. I listen to their books all the time. Why? I kind of need that kick in the butt sometimes to keep my head in the right frame of mind. Valerie didn't need that. She had that natural personality, energy, perspective on things that was positive, that was uplifting. Our tagline is that we elevate people. Valerie elevated people naturally. Almost every one of you can probably tell me a story about her making you smile or her making you feel better about something. So again, I ask you, as you're going through this today, to keep thinking about that. Now, there's a couple things I need you to do. Several of you have already done this. See, we got these note cards. We got a box over there and note cards over there. We got another set in the back. These are for you to write down your memories. We're not going to read them. This is for the family, right? The family lives in another part of the country, and they haven't been here and don't know all of you. It can be oh so short. It can just be that you loved Valerie. It can be oh so long. Use both sides. I don't care, because they get to read these after they leave, and it will be enriching for them. So I encourage you, if you haven't done so yet, go grab one of those cards, take your time, and we got pens all over the place. I can give you cards, whatever it is, but it will be appreciated. I want to thank the family. We have a couple tables of family here. They've come from Northern Virginia. They've come from Maryland. They've made the trip here to share this moment with us and to help us to grieve through it. But we're here to help you also. You're not going to get full closure today, but hopefully today you will get some portion of some closure, some portion of a relief that will hopefully work into your soul as we go through today. So here's how the program is going to go. You're going to get rid of me on the mic, and we're going to turn the mic over to a few people. I've got a local reverend here who is going to say some words. And then after that, I'm going to have two of Valerie's sisters come up, Katie and Jen, and speak for the family. Then I have a couple of her closest friends, Kaylee and Alex, as Robert referred to. Partners in crime, thick as thieves, yep. You guys have seen some of this on Facebook and YouTube and stuff, They're up in these fancy condos around here drinking wine and having a good time. And you thought they owned them. They don't. But they were having fun there. So they do. They have a lot of fun, and they will have the opportunity to speak. And then we're going to have a series of people who want to say something. I think Cindy wants to say something. I've asked several other people to say things. So please, while you're sitting there, when I come back at you with open mic, feel free to speak up. This is part of the healing process. This is part of why we're here. It can be as short as, I knew Valerie, I loved her, she made me smile. It can be longer than that, and tell us what happened. What was the story behind it that you found so beneficial? How did she touch your life? Now let's keep a limit on it here. We don't want to go more than like 5 minutes. I'm the only one in the room that has a mic right now, and I go long all the time, as you guys know. But I'm going to turn that over now to Reverend Ray. Now, Ray was not the Reverend for Valerie, and he never knew her, but we've talked about it, and I feel that he has a very relevant and compassionate message to share with us.
I guess, firstly, there's nothing reverend about me. No, I don't go by Reverend Ray. Just call me Ray. I'm a pastor at a local church, and I'm not going to be able to command and work the audience as Craig could, but I hope that the things that I have to share are meaningful. And before I get started, I just want to, again, Kay and Larry and family, give you my deepest condolences, and now or any time in the future. I'll get you my number, our church number. We're here. We'll support you in any way we can. Now, we didn't compare notes on what we were going to share. But I want to share on legacy. When I was asked to share a few words today, I thought about Valerie's life. Though I didn't know her, I've heard a lot about her through a number of you and Craig as well. And two thoughts kept coming to mind: legacy and the greater good. And in my conversation with Craig and some of you who knew and loved her well, it became very clear Valerie was much more than a success story. She was a light. She had a way of making people feel seen and valued and uplifted. And she didn't just build a career, she built relationships. That's legacy. That's what it's all about. It's not just about what we achieve, but about the lives that we touch along the way. And moments like this remind us that life is fragile. None of us knows how many days we have here on planet Earth. And so the question I would challenge you with is this: what are we doing with the time we have left? What truly matters? It's a defining moment for all of us. Even for me, I do a fair amount of these, but every one of us is impactful because there's human lives here. There's families that are broken and friends that are grieving. And so in view of all that, it challenges me to consider what really matters. If Valerie's life teaches us anything, it's that success isn't just measured in accomplishments, but it's measured in kindness and generosity and lifting others' spirit, making an impact. I was told that Valerie, there was never a room she went into that she didn't leave and everybody wasn't impacted. That's the kind of impact I want to have. As we hear others speak today, keep those two thoughts resonating in your mind, the back of your mind: legacy and the greater good. So what's it mean to leave a legacy? What's it mean to live for something great ourselves? It's what Valerie did. Valerie answered those questions very clearly with the way she lived. Her life was an impact that will long outlive her time here on earth. We're told in the Bible, in Matthew 5:16, by Jesus says, "Let your light shine before others that they may see your good deeds and glorify your Father in heaven." That's exactly what Valerie did. She let her light shine. She brought joy, she brought inspiration, and she left the world better than she found it. So today, let's not just reflect, let's respond. Is there something that you need to settle? If there's someone that you need to call, if there's a kindness you've been putting off, if there's a relationship that needs mending, don't wait. Do it today. Don't wait for the end of the day. Honor Valerie by carrying forward the light she brought into the world. Let her legacy inspire you to make every single day count, not just for ourselves, but for the greater good. Because at the end of the day, it won't be the deals that you all close in real estate, the accolades you receive, or the milestones that you hit that define you. It's going to be the people that you love, that you touch their lives, and the good that you did that's going to live on. That's what's last. That's what really matters. And that's what Valerie showed us in the way that she lived. So let's not let this moment pass without this reflection. Each one of us, let us honor her by making what matters most matter most. Would you please pray with me? Heavenly Father, we thank you for the incredible gift of Valerie's life, for the joy that she brought, the love that she shared, and the impact she made. Though our hearts are heavy, we ask you to comfort and strengthen us. We ask you to be with her mom and her dad. We pray for you to be with her family, that you would comfort, strengthen them, Lord God. Walk them out through this season. Lord, remind us often, Lord God, to pray for them, to encourage them, Lord, to reach out to them. Help us to cherish each day, to love without hesitation, to live with purpose, and to be a light to those around us for the greater good, just as she was. May we carry her legacy forward in the way we live and invest in what truly matters. And everyone said, amen.
Thank you very much, Ray. We appreciate it. All righty, with that, I would like to have Jen and Katie come up. Again, this is Valerie's sisters.
Thank you. Thank you. All right, first of all, thank you all very, very much for coming. It's really inspiring to see so many people in the room here. We'll do our best to get through our speech and represent Valerie the way that that she would want. We're going to kind of tag team it so that way if it gets too hard, we'll bounce back and forth. But just to start, thank you again very, very much. It's really incredibly. It's great to see so many people here that loved her and that worked with her, and how many people she impacted. So all right. So what an honor and blessing it is to be here with you all today. To be surrounded by so much love and by all the people that loved Valerie. This is Valerie's Sarasota family. She loved you all so much. So I'm Jen, and this is Katie. We're Val's older sisters. So growing up, Val was always kind-spirited. She saw the good in everyone and wasn't afraid to blaze her own path. To her very much rule-following older sisters, she kept us on our toes. So Katie has some memories that she wants to share, and we'll come back.
Some childhood memories we recall growing up with Val as her older sisters or playing soccer in the hallway inside our house. Valerie would also like to put on her own little horse show, having our first childhood dog, Lassie, jump over picnic benches in the backyard. Valerie and our cousins also sold cups of water for 10 cents each in the front of our grandparents' house when they were about 5, and they made $5, so we always knew Val had that entrepreneurial spirit and goodness with people about her. I am glad she found real estate as a career. Val played the violin from a young age and played beautifully. She was even the fiddler in a play called Fiddler on the Roof. Val also played the goalie for her high school field hockey team when no one else wanted to, and she excelled at it. The coach didn't want her out of that goal. Val loved horses and rode them as a kid at the Columbia Horse Center when she had the chance. Val loved warm weather, and that's what ultimately led her to this beautiful place called Sarasota. Val helped Jen and I pick out the pretty clothes and did our hair and makeup for us. She had the true sense of style in the family. Val loved her cats, first Tiger, then Matcha, who she moved to Sarasota with, but then got Waffles and Sushi, who are living with my sister and her family now. Val loved kids and showered them with kindness and love, including her nephews Logan and Noah, who she recommended go to Legoland when they first visited her here in Florida. Val had a way of bringing out laughter and many moments together as a family. There are many more memories, but these are just some, and we know those precious moments are ones we will hold on to forever.
Okay. So Val came to Sarasota with hopes and dreams. She fell in love with the city, but she also fell in love with all of you, with the people here. Okay. To Mariah and Cindy, thank you. Thank you for taking Val under your wing, for treating her as family. I appreciate it. She found so much joy in helping people buy and sell homes. And with your mentorship, she turned a job into a career that she had so much passion for. I've been overflowed with pride watching my little sister blossom with you guys. So thank you very, very much. We made 30 years of memory with Val, and we still had so many more to make. Val was a loving daughter, sister, granddaughter, cousin, niece, and friend. As we all know too well, we make plans in life, and sometimes life takes a hard left turn. In John 10:10, Jesus said, "I have come that they may have life, and that they may have it more abundantly. The abundant life may not be long, nor is it void from sorrow, heartache, or tragedy. A fulfilled life bears much fruit for God's glory," from John 15:8, "and lays up treasures in heaven," Matthew 6:20. Without a doubt, Val lived a fulfilled and abundant life. I'll channel my inner Val right now and tell you what she would tell you all if she were here. If she were here in the flesh. So make the trip, take the chance, jump in head first, and never look back. Always seek kindness and find the goodness in people. And no matter what you do, do it with the entirety of your heart. And we'll close with a poem from Katie.
Valerie, the love and joy you spread to everyone was felt deeply, I know. No words can begin to express the feeling in our hearts that is sorrow. Your bright, smiling face will linger on in our thoughts day by day. You really moved each of us in your own special way. The smiles and laughs you gave us and the uplifting words you shared are forever something we will cherish and let us know how much you cared. Your company is like no other. Your heart is very true. I know we will meet again one day, and we were so very lucky to have known someone as special as you.
Thank you. That was beautiful. I know it was challenging, but everybody here really appreciates it, and I think it's something that we all needed to hear. Lots of stuff there. You know, Val was definitely into the horses while she was here. I would ask her, so what do you do when you're not working? Oh, I go ride the horses. She loves it. And we see some of that maybe in the videos and stuff here. She just loved everybody, animals, people, everything. We can feel that in this room right now. So Kaylee and Alex, come on down. So Kaylee works at Premier Sotheby's along with many of you and has for many years. I brought Kaylee on years ago. And Alex used to work there, and then she decided to go back to teaching. And congratulations, she just got married a couple weeks ago. So yay, congratulations on that. You guys ready?
Yes.
That was a no.
Here, just hold it in the middle. Val. As we all know, we are here to celebrate one of the most beautiful, bubbly, and selfless human beings that's made such a positive impact on all of us. We'd like to share a few things we love most about Val. To our vibrant girl,
our forever floral wearing,
dirty martini loving, with extra blue cheese olives, free-spirited,
humorous soul sister. One of our favorite memories we shared with Valerie was when we ventured out to a wine tasting at Fiorelli Winery. Even here, she managed to, by using her witty and kind personality, land a new client. Soon after, while roaming the vineyard, after many types of wine tastings, we learned the most important lesson: never go to a wine tasting on an empty stomach.
Although we have many similar adventure stories that we could share, we'll leave it to your imagination. While Val prided herself on being a successful realtor, which she was doing a dang sure good job at doing, there's no doubt she's up there selling real estate to Jesus.
Although this was her calling, our most treasured quality about Valerie was her ability to make everyone laugh. No matter the day you were having, truly I think she had a PhD in making people feel better. No matter what, she always had a smile on her face that lit up every single room she walked in. Her vibrant personality shined onto others, and I can say we are both honored to have had a friend like Valerie. She taught us that it's not being a perfect friend, but being perfectly there when needed.
She was our sunshine on the darkest days, from lending a hug to her quirky and random outbursts. If there's one thing that we can take away from knowing such a radiant person, it's to live life to the fullest and always try to find the positive in everything. To our forever tequila sip and lunch date,
our random adventures that always ended in core memories and laughs partner,
but most importantly, our forever best friend, until we meet again.
A lot of lessons in that too, right? The older you get, many of us know this, the harder it is to maintain friendships. When you're younger, it seems easy. And for those of you that are younger, it really does. It becomes harder. It takes effort. And so when you see people who make the effort to really have a strong friendship, you really have to appreciate that. And so one of the takeaways there is don't let that get away. That kind of love, that kind of friendship doesn't happen every day because we let it slip away. They would keep going, and I really believe that they would still be friends for years and years to come, and they'd be doing little reunions around the tequila stories and wine stories 20 years from now. So I hope that all of you have got friends like that, and if you don't, I hope that you go out and start working on your friendships. I will tell you, it's helped me to get a little kick in the butt, right? Next Wednesday, this coming Wednesday, I think, my wife and I are going up to Gulf Shores, Alabama, to see my best friend from high school. I let that get away. Jim Fox and I were thick as thieves. We had some good times, and then life gets away from us. Thank goodness for Facebook that we managed to reconnect just by chance on Facebook. And now, part of my lesson again from this experience is get off your butt, man, and go make an effort to reconnect and to get that, revitalize that friendship. So we're doing that this week. So with that, I want to get a couple people from the floor. Again, I want to remind you, if you haven't done so yet, fill out these cards and share a memory, ever so little or ever so long, that will benefit the family. Cindy, you wanted to say something? Are you up to it?
Just very hard. I was just absolutely blessed when my daughter asked me to take her, Valerie, in her. I thought I'd be so good with this I didn't have to take notes. My daughter asked me if I would give them a tour of Palmer Ranch. And I was so honored that my daughter felt that I had something to give to her new assistant. And so we had so much fun. And I was telling Valerie, you need to take notes. I need to take notes. And she said, I'm recording everything. And so we just drove in and out of every community. And then I got the call from Mariah one day that she's like, Mom, I'm going to spend time with my daughter when she's born. Would you come over and work with Valerie, train my assistant? She said, you trained me, Mom. You're the best. You're the only person I trust with my business. And I was like, oh, no, I hate change. It was the best thing I've ever done in my life. I absolutely loved that my daughter was thankful for me, appreciated me, and I was so honored to work with this young woman, this gorgeous, enthusiastic young woman, and we had so much fun. We had too much fun, actually. It was when, you remember COVID and all the multiple offers. There was 8 offers, 10 offers come in. I've never been able to do a spreadsheet in my life. That child was such a whiz kid. I mean, she put it up on spreadsheets. We'd have to sit down with old people, and at the end of we would send them to you, remember, after 3 days? Because, it was crazy. And I packed a lunch every day, and I always tried to make the plate really pretty, and I had it in one of Mariah's baskets that she gave me, and she would take pictures of it. We'd be sitting at the pool, she'd take pictures of it, and I'm like, oh, I just felt so important. And it was like, pinch me, is this real? She listened to every word I said. And then sometimes she would get so enthusiastic, like we had all these brochures left over. She said, let's distribute them in the community. Well, I know you're not allowed to do that soliciting, but unbridled enthusiasm, I didn't want to put a bit in her mouth, so we both did it. And we got called in by the association manager. Don't you know better? And I'm like, yeah, but it was fun. We just had a great time. And I'm just thankful for that opportunity. She continued to be my friend. to be there for me. She took me kayaking on Mother's Day and just introduced me to her family. Every time her family came in, we'd go out to eat and play with Logan and Noah and swing on the swings. And it was just like I had an adopted family. So it's been an ultimate blessing. She's the most generous person I've ever known. I mean, when she was on salary, just starting on salary, she was blessing people financially with large sums of money. I mean, I think that's why God blessed her so much, because she didn't give from abundance. She gave from where it hurt. Where it would hurt somebody. She didn't have extra money, but she just gave. Anybody that needed help, whatever it was. And she would tell me about it. And I'm like, Val, you gotta watch it. You gotta wait a while. And she's like, no, I love giving. And she lived her life that way. She just gave and gave and gave. Gave a smile, gave a hug, gave a kind word. She just was a giver. I would tell her, you're my Holy Spirit filled girl on the hoof. You're the Holy Spirit on the hoof. And she just smiled at me. And I said, no. And when I thought about, what does that mean, Cindy? It sounds so stupid. But look, think about it. Love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness. Kind of blew it on the self-control at times, but that's about it. Well, I love her. I'll miss her every day. I am so blessed that my daughter trusted me enough to be a part of this child's life, because she radiates beauty and joy, and she'll forever be in my heart. Thank you all for listening.
Thank you very much. So if you haven't gathered it yet, some of you knew Valerie kind of on a, I don't know what the right word is. You didn't know her as deeply as some of the rest of us did. She was in this business for 3.5 years. And let me tell you, from somebody who's been in this business for a long time and who has seen a lot of realtors come and go, to go from starting point, not knowing anybody, and she was new to town too. That's like one of the biggest challenges. New to town, new to the industry. Here we are, 3.5 years later, and she went from Mariah's assistant to Mariah's partner, full-blown partner in the business. Who does that? I got to tell you, that's not a common accomplishment. Maybe 10 years, something like that. She was phenomenal. And it was not just the spreadsheets, which she was awesome at. And I love the comment about the recording. That's exactly right. I'd be taking notes on a pad of paper, and Valerie would be recording or just saying, don't worry, I got that. Cool. But it was her ability to just suck it all in and turn it into positives, turn it into productivity, turn it into things that helped other people. We all hit it right on the head. She wanted to help. She wanted to help people. So who else would like to share some thoughts? Frankie? Who else? Peter? I know you said you'd break down if you did. A couple people. I don't care if you break down. You saw it's a tough thing. But I do think it's important that you take a moment, ever so little. So again, I'm asking, who would like to have the mic? I see somebody in the back. It is Miss Liz Nason.
Hi, good afternoon. I didn't know her very well. It was mostly through the hallway or in the kitchen getting coffee. But a memory I have is I was on the floor her first day. And she came downstairs. She was wearing, it looked like her first jacket or suit. And it was kind of dark and drab, and she was nervous, and her eyes were she just looked nervous. And I said, hi, how are you? And she told me who she was working for. And I chatted, and I said, how long have you been in real estate? And she said, I just started. And I remember she walked up the hall. I think maybe she was picking something up from the front desk. And I just remember shaking my head saying, oh, this business is going to eat her alive. This is not going to happen. But I remember slowly over the years, this very quiet girl just blossomed. Everybody, I keep on hearing the word blossomed. She did, and she brightened up, and the color in her eyes and in her clothes and her attitude and her energy was just amazing. And she became your partner, which was amazing. And I'm not the only one, I know, because everybody, I was a little envious. I was like, holy cow, she's really killing it. And I was amazed at how well she was doing. And I remember one day I went by, she was making some kind of, you were having a party or something, and she let me, I taped her on for Instagram, and she did this really funny thing about how to make salami flowers. And I was like, okay. So, but anyway, it's surreal, but she was just a lovely, lovely person, and it was so lovely to see her go from this very quiet, timid for me, and to this incredible, bombacious light that just swept through the office every single day, always had a smile, and she was amazing, and I hope she will forever be a blessing, her memory.
Thank you, Liz. While I'm back here in this part, who else would like to speak? This table right here knows her well. Come on, don't be afraid. You say you can't do it. The one that came off the island for once? Okay.
I'm not a good public speaker. I'm not a good public speaker. I know Valerie personally, not through work, but through friends. And she was a glowing light in my life, even though I only knew her for a short time. So to keep it short and sweet, I just want to say thank you to everyone in this room, her family, her work family, her friends, her best friends, because you supporting her, you uplifting her, you being there for her, and her in return being there for you, allowed her to be with us that much longer here in Sarasota. And the impact that she's made on my life, my kids' life, I'll never forget it. So, love you, Val.
Thank you. Thank you. Who else here would like to say something? Mr. T? Okay. All right. Come on now. I know you guys are feeling it. You're a little nervous. You feel like, okay, Natalie.
I am going to break down, I promise you. Valerie, as you all know, is kind of similar to what I do with Judy. And I have kids her age. And I met this girl, and I call about this listing she has over in, I think it was like $600,000 over in Palmer Ranch. And this girl knew everything about this house. I mean, the steer of air conditioners, everything. And I remember walking away from that conversation thinking, girl, you got to get your game better. This girl knows what she's doing, you know, and I'm thinking, oh my God, I'm going to have to do homework, and I'm going to have to learn our listings a little better. But from the moment I saw her, she just radiated. And that's what we all keep saying. When you look around, she was here 3.5 years, and look at this room. And we're all bawling our eyes out. And I know when we all got the news, it was a day. You know, we remember 9/11. We remember a lot of things in our life, and I guarantee you, you all will remember when you heard about this. But she left a lasting legacy. I know I'm a better person because she was in my life. So thank you to her family for sharing her with us.
Thank you. Thank you very much. How about Marina? Shell, how about you? Shelley.
So my memory is a little bit selfish because it has actually comforted me. It has actually comforted me over the last few weeks, but I want to tell all of you about my last interaction with Valerie. And it was actually the day before she was called home. And she passed my office really quick. And I said, Val, get back here. She came in and she said, hello. You know how she always said that, hello, and big smile. And I said, I just want to tell you, you look so great. She said, oh, thank you. And we all know we'd watched her shed some pounds over the last year or so. I'd watched her start buying clothes that were a little bit more form-fitting, and if they weren't, she put a belt on. And she looked so beautiful. And I said, I don't need anything else. She's like, oh, you're not going to say anything to me about the last brochure? I said, no, because I would get on her. She didn't do everything brand standard. And, you know, I have to be the brand standard police. But she was so happy and had the biggest smile on her face and was so thankful. So one thing I'm always going to take away from that memory is to remember to compliment other people. Tell them what they mean to you, how amazing they are to be in your life, because you just never know if it's going to be the last time. And it was. And so over the last few weeks, that's given me so much comfort that that was the last thing I said to her. And she walked away with a big smile. God bless you to her family, to her closest friends. I know that you're all feeling it, but I can feel her here with all of us right now. And she's smiling, saying hello.
It's a beautiful message. It's a beautiful thing for everybody to take away from this, right? What else do we have here? Who would like to share some additional thoughts when I get away from that speaker there? How about this end of the room? Come on now. You guys got some other things you'd like to share. Remember, this is helpful to everybody, family included. You're welcome to chime in and say something here. Either one of the parents or anybody else over there have something you want to say? Who's calling? You guys got to remember, I only hear out of one ear. Peter.
Yeah. My office was right next to excuse me, to Valerie's and Mariah's. And every day, I look forward to Valerie coming in. She always wore a different dress, full of color, and she looked so fantastic, and she would say hello, and I'd say hello to her, and I always wanted to compliment her because she always carried herself so beautifully. And I had to ask her, I said, do you own a factory? Because she had every outfit under the sun, and she knew how to dress. And we saw her through her transformation. Can't believe this has happened. We love you.
Thank you, Peter. I can second that. You know, my office was on the whole other side of the floor, but I had to walk past their office every day when I went to the kitchen, which I didn't do that much because I'm not a kitchen kind of guy. But I did walk by every day, and I would see Valerie. Her seat was positioned so that you couldn't walk by the office without seeing Valerie. And sometimes her head was buried, and you could see she was in deep thought, and I didn't want to bother her, so I didn't say anything. But you wanted to say something because you knew no matter what you said to her, whether it was a joke or whether it was a hello or whatever it was, she was going to turn around and smile, and she was going to make me feel better. And I think every one of us who worked with her, who knew her in some capacity, know that instinctively, that Valerie just had that power, that impact on all of us to make us feel better every single time we interacted with her. Who else would like to share? Yes.
For those who don't know me, I'm Chris Green, Larry's brother. And I obviously didn't get the memo. But I do have a lot of bright clothes at home, but I didn't bring them. First of all, I want to thank you so much because I have two daughters. They have fond memories of visiting the Hengens up in Columbia, up in Maryland. And I knew Valerie as a young child growing up. I'm sorry. And what you've done for me is really brought me back into Valerie's world over the past 10 years because I really didn't take the time to see them. And it was very good what you said about taking something from this and what I got out of this, and thank you so much for saying this, is I need to re-engage with the family here much more because even though we're not that far away. We live in Northern Virginia, they live in Maryland, but it's not, we need to do more of that. And thank you so much for saying that. And again, I can't stress enough, I'm really amazed about how many friends and family and workmates came out here. It's very heartwarming. And this is truly what life's all about. Thank you.
Thank you very much. What's that? Oh, Micah. Pull the microphone up to your mouth.
How do I have to be? I remember one of my favorite memories that was just like a few weeks ago was the weekend after my birthday. We went horseback riding because I knew that she liked horses when she was younger, and I had just gotten into horseback riding, and I wanted to do horseback riding. So we went, and she was just, I don't really know what to do. She was just happy. She would compliment everyone on how good they were on their horses, and it's just a good favorite memory.
Hi. So I got to know Kaylee through my profession, which is as a hairdresser. So I was doing Kaylee's. I do Kaylee's hair. But I met Valerie through work and was doing her hair for a few years. And the first time she ever came in, she had a really important meeting, and she said, "I just want my hair blow dried." And she had hair for days. It was so long, and it's nice to see that I'm not the only hairdresser that struggled in the past either, because I've seen some fairly questionable haircuts as these have come through. So, but I used to think I was really good. And then I struggled with her hair because it went on for days, and every curl that I put in it, it dropped and dropped and dropped. But she left for this important meeting, and I just remember, and I've used this rarely in the past, but she said, "Oh, I feel so good about myself." And, I said, cooking's easy when you have good ingredients. And Valerie's, smile, beauty, and that darn hair that just went on for days was, it was a pleasure to spend time with her. And she went from a client that would brighten my day up every time she came in the salon to a friend, because when I met Kaylee, she called me up and she said, "You're never going to believe this. We have a mutual friend," which was Valerie. And I had to behave myself from there on in. So, she was very special someone to Kaylee, to Micah, and to all of her friends and colleagues. But she was also an amazing person to spend time with. And I was lucky enough that I would spend sometimes an hour and a half on a one-to-one basis with her. And I feel truly blessed. So thank you.
Thank you.
Mariah, girl, you had no idea, did you? That girl, so it was great because Valerie and I on Monday got to spend 20 minutes in your office in the afternoon. And she and I were just hamming it up. I mean, that was her to a T, right? And I started looking at her and I was like, you've become more Mariah than Mariah is Mariah. I go, you are the bomb. But I remember at the end of that, I looked at her and I was like, and Kayla and I had been talking about it, I was like, that girl has been so transformed. I mean, the weight she lost, the way she looked. And I remember looking at her when she was sitting there and I said, I am so proud of you. You have so much in front of you. You really are a light. You are just an amazing kid. And it has just been, it's always a hoot to be around her. And I walked out of that office that day. And it reminded me, this was what I took away. This was the good thing that I took away. Mary Oliver, who's a Pulitzer Prize writing poet, wrote a poem called Summertime. And I thought about that poem because in it, she asks about who made the world, right? The grasshopper, the bear, the swan. And she goes on and she says, I don't know how faithful I was, but I did know how to roll around in the grass. I did know how to pray. And she ends with this question, and it's a question that Valerie really subconsciously asked me that day without asking me. She asked this question. She said, tell me, what is it you plan to do with this one precious life that you have been given? And boy, that sat with me and will sit with me for the rest of my life, because she asks us all that question every single day. And I'm going to tell you, this business is just a business, but everybody in it, like her, meant something. She really was such a bright light. Mariah, you were blessed. You were absolutely blessed. And that's what I want to remember. That moment of what are we going to do with the precious life that we have left.
My connection with Valerie is about spreadsheets. And some of you may not know it, but she would provide me spreadsheets and MLS data, which I transcribed into stories at our city commission. And when you walk by the Rosemary Park, the new Rosemary Park, Valerie indirectly, I think, had something to do with that. Mariah and Valerie supplied the data and the information and the story that showed how rapidly downtown is growing and why we needed a park. So thank you, Valerie, and part of your legacy, yours and Mariah's, will be that park. When you walk by, think of Valerie.
And it is a beautiful park. And when I was still working before I retired, I would drive by that park on my way home and frequently see you supervising the work in that park. All righty. Who else would like to share something with us? Sandra.
Just a short story, but I was at the front desk and I called Valerie and I said, you have some packages to pick up downstairs, and she came down, and when she came down the hallway, she was dragging this massive luggage cart behind her to pick up the boxes. Where she got it, I don't know, but she was laughing. I'm laughing. I said, Valerie, you just cracked me up, but her smile was so beautiful, lit up the room. We're going to miss her dearly, and she was truly a bright light in our office, and she will be missed.
Thank you, Sandra. Gregory.
I obviously didn't get the memo about the bright colors.
And I know you own some bright colors.
I own mostly, that's what I always wear, and so I did not get the memo. However, I will talk about our last meeting, which was that Tuesday morning. She had come to me, and we were working with a customer about a rental, and we made some arrangements that way. But we talked about her success and how she'd come from over the last 3 years. And then I'd asked if I could sponsor her to membership to a private business club called Waterworks. And she said, "Oh my gosh, do you think I'm ready for that? I think I'm ready for that." And I said, "Absolutely. I'm going to go over there today and get an appointment for you for an interview." And she was so excited. And that was our last meeting that Tuesday morning. So I was so proud of her, watching her success. And I love watching everybody's success in the room. I care about all of you guys. But watching her and how she went from her first day, timid, quiet, to owning the room when she walked in, no matter what room it was in. Just so proud of her. And yeah, she will be missed. Thank you.
Liz? Okay. Yes, Roberta.
Well, that Saturday, after she left us, I went and sat in the seat that's reserved for the cat. And I just wanted... And I just had a little chat with that damn bubbly Valerie flitting around the office in those little shoes all the time. Hello, always so spicy. And I want to know how we are all going to keep that little chipper Valerie running around the office. And I pledged that day, sitting in that seat reserved for the cat, that I'm going to live every day fuller, because I've known Valerie. She may have lived a short life, but the impact that she made on all of us, I hope you will put that deep in your heart and live a little fuller for Valerie, because that is what I have pledged to do, and I'm going to do that. And if you ever see me walking around and you're having a day that you may not be living the fullest, I want you to look at me, and I want to remind you all that we were lucky to have her, and look at what she did for all of us, and we're all here together. So, if I can ask on behalf of Valerie to continue the days which we don't know the end a little fuller in her name, that would be really honoring her. And that is what I plan to do.
Hi, everyone. Thank you for coming. I know she's looking down and just thrilled that all of you that she loved and that loved her, that everyone's here. And she didn't get to be with us long, but she was beautiful from the inside out. And we have to carry that light and keep it going for her. A whole lifetime worth of 30 years of... I'm just so grateful that she got to come to Sarasota and meet everybody, and you meet her and the family. We have a big, beautiful, wonderful family. We're so blessed, and we're blessed to have you all as part of it too. And I know she would be very happy about this. So thank you. Love you all.
Frankie.
I probably won't do very well with this, but I hope she's looking down, seeing all this, because how many people love her, and her big smile, and that's all it's all about. Our daughters are visiting this weekend, and Family's it. Cherish every minute. We love you, Valerie.
Wow. I have not cried this much in a while. True. I have cried a lot, but definitely today. And I just really want to speak to her for a moment. Thank you for blessing me so much with your light and your love, with your joy, your strength, your calm nature, for enabling me to be with my daughter during these really important times. For giving our clients an exceptional experience, and for keeping things going and doing it with nothing but joy and beauty. You do live on in us and everything. Thank you.
Okay, so Valerie, can you hear us? I know you can hear us because there's been a consistent message of how much we love you, how much we miss you, how grateful we are. We're happy that Valerie was born. We're grateful that Valerie moved to Sarasota, and we are so grateful that she became a part of our community and a part of our real estate community too. Not everybody here is from real estate. There's a lot of people from different walks, but she meant so much to all of us. And so we want Valerie to hear that. We want the family to hear that. And I think that message has come through very clear today. It's there's really no words that anybody can say can put any more perspective on this. I would just say, I'd look up to the heavens and I would say, Lord, you got a darn good angel. One of the best. And she's going to be a good angel, so I would ask you, they got to assign jobs to angels, right? Please assign Valerie to be a greeter. To be a greeter at the gates. Because when people pass and they go to heaven, they're nervous. They're happy, right? Because they're not going the other way. But they're still nervous. And when they meet Valerie, they're not going to be nervous anymore. They're going to feel glorious. And one more ask. Tag her up with my brother-in-law, because he's up there being a greeter too. And he'll take her under his wing, and the two of them together are the best damn angels you ever had. So I want to thank everybody for coming today. I want to thank you for sharing today. I want to let you stay here. We brought out more food, more drinks, chat with each other, socialize with each other, talk to the family. And again, I want to thank the family. This is a big deal, all you guys coming here. I know it means a lot to you that we're here, but it means a lot to us that all of you came here. And, just again, thank you from the depths of our heart for your Valerie and everything that she is and that she'll continue to be. Mariah said it, several other people said it. She will continue to live in your hearts and in your mind and in your soul if you open up to it. Robert said it. You got to keep thinking it. You got to keep saying it. We are all so guilty of getting caught up in life and sometimes forgetting the little lessons that we learn along the way. And there's a lot of little lessons that came here with Valerie. And there's, again, people from all over. Alan, a friend of mine that did work with Valerie in a totally non-realtor related perspective. Just everybody here has got a takeaway. So I go back to that from the beginning. Think about your takeaway. As little as it may be, as big as it may be, it doesn't matter. But think about what you walk away from this with, what makes you a better person, what will help you in your life tomorrow, next year, ongoing. Because there is a lesson here, and it doesn't matter if it's one, right? One little one. It doesn't matter. As long as you let your mind be open to taking something away and retaining that in your heart, then you will have become a better person for having come here today. I am a better person for knowing Valerie. I am a better person for having come here today.